It does mark the 60th anniversary, as we mentioned earlier, of the March on Washington and the iconic words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his dream finally becoming a reality. So much good has come since that day, and so much still has to be achieved. We know that. Joining us now is Angela Stanton-King, a former congressional candidate and founder of Auntie Angie's House. And thank you so much for joining us on this day.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks so much for being on the show. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, good to see you. What does today mean to you? Looking at I was saying it earlier, looking at that black and white footage, what does it mean to you?
Wow, it means a lot when you think about the memory of Martin Luther King Jr. and what all he stood for and what he fought for. You know, his most famous speech was, "I have a dream." And then he said that I have a dream that one day my children, my 4 little children, will be judged by the content of their character and not the color of their skin. And it's amazing to see what's happening now in today's society. Everything seems to be about the color of your skin. So when I look at that and I look at where we are today, I have to ask myself, how much progress have we made, especially a Black community that has continued to be loyal to a Democrat Party? I don't believe that the civil rights that Martin Luther King Jr. fought for back then are the civil rights that they have turned it into today. I don't remember us marching on the front line for abortion rights. I don't remember us marching on the front line for gender ideology for our children. I think we all need to remember what Martin Luther King stood for, as well as everyone else who marched with him, and we need to stick to that.
Annie, the civil rights movement was a grassroots movement. It was a movement of women and children largely, even though the faces very well may have been men. And so to that point, what are some of the grassroots things that people can do in their very own communities, just in their own sphere of influence today?
Well, one of the things we can do is support life resources. We hear so many times Democrat and women in Congress saying, hey, Black women need access to abortion. How about making sure Black women have access to life resources like Auntie Angie's House? Let's provide a solution to this Black maternal health crisis, and let's support initiatives that empower and uplift Black life, the nuclear family, and fighting to make sure that we're all equal, not fighting for our children to be identified by a sexual preference.
And let's talk about Angie's House. You kind of touched on it briefly. How can we learn more about that?
Wow, you guys can go to AuntieAngie'sHouse.com. It's a beautiful thing that we're doing. It gives you an opportunity to not only save a life, but to change a life at the same time. We empower mothers and children. I've said this before, in Black communities across America, we know that there's a Planned Parenthood, but are we really giving them a choice if Planned Parenthood is the only place that they have to go? So we want to make sure that there are life resources like Auntie Angie's House across this nation. So we're supporting women that do choose life and their babies.
And Angie, your focus is obviously on your community, but this is really a broader American focus.
That is so true. I mean, this impacts us all. I mean, the communities across this nation. During COVID, we saw over $80 billion in funding go to an initiative like Planned Parenthood. And my thing is this: we watched this country be burned down while Trump was in office. They were all saying that Black lives matter. Do Black lives really matter if we're supporting initiatives that lynch Black life in the womb? I think it's important for this country to wake up. I think that we need to understand that whatever is at the head trickles down all the way to the bottom. So we need to make sure that we're supporting government policies that uplift and empower all life, not just Black life, but all life.